Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Malcolm, and you are on Malcolm Talks. I want to thank you for visiting the channel. I really, really do. Now, today I want to talk to you guys about when you're giving a speech or a presentation and you totally forget what the hell you were going to say. Has this ever happened to you? You know, you're up there, you're ready to give your speech, you got everything lined up, you're ready to go. And you start talking, and then all of a sudden it's like somebody flipped the switch and everything's gone. You can't remember a damn thing. That's frustrating. That can be one of the most frustrating things as a speaker, especially an up-and-coming speaker. It'll make you pull your hair out. And believe me, as you can see, I've had my fair share of frustrations when it comes to this speaking thing on this journey. So today what I want to do is just sort of talk about it and see, you know, and let you guys know some pointers, some tips. What do you do if you're in the middle of a speech and you just totally forget what to say and you draw a blank? Well, the first thing you want to do is just relax. Be cool. Pause and gather your thoughts. I know it seems easier said than done, but it actually works. Because no one's even paying as much attention as you think they are. So the last thing you want to do is draw attention to your mistake. Just pause for a second. Relax a little bit. Gather your thoughts. Okay? I mean, think about it. If you're talking to someone in normal conversation and you make a small mistake, it would be ridiculous to just say, you know what, wait a minute, I made a mistake with what I just said. I stuttered when I was talking to you. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. Nobody does that. So why would you do it in a speech? When you're talking to people, to an audience, all it is really a conversation. It's just a one-sided conversation, but it's still sort of like a conversation. Your audience is not going to even notice that you made a mistake, guys. You got to keep that in mind. Nobody's that focused on how you're saying. What am I trying to say? So nobody's going to notice that you made mistakes. That's just the bottom line. Be cool. It's okay. If you made a mistake, just sweep it under the rug. No big deal, guys. Nobody's going to notice. Don't beat yourself up about it. You don't have to tell anybody about it. This could be between us. If you made a mistake during your speech, you don't have to tell anybody. I mean, are they really gonna care? Let's say you're talking to a group of your best friends and you make a small mistake. Are they really gonna care like that? No, they're not. If anything, they're gonna say, dude, why are you apologizing? Finish. I want to hear what you got to say. Finish your speech. So that's what you got to do. You know, when I was a kid, I was actually 5th grade, and I gave my first speech. It was a big deal. And it was a speech about Martin Luther King. So I got up there and I had my speech all prepared. I had been working with my dad for weeks on this speech, months. And I had everything memorized. I had gone over it in front of the mirror plenty of times. So what happens? On the day of the speech, I give my intro. He was a man of unselfishness, of dreams and actions, a servant and a leader. There will never be another like him. That was my intro. I was in 5th grade now, killing him with the intro. At that point, my mind drew a blank. Couldn't remember anything else. The speech was about 5 to 7 minutes long. I totally forgot what I was saying. Couldn't remember anything. The only thing I remembered was my closing. So I started crying. 5th grade, I was so embarrassed. I was like, because you know, when you start crying, it's hard to stop. All I remember was my closing. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty. We are free at last. Thank you. And then I walked off the stage. One of the most embarrassing experiences of my life. Now, had I known then what I know now, I would have just paused for a second, relaxed a little bit, tried to gather my thoughts. But I was a kid. I was crying like a baby up there. And I know you guys may think that's funny. But that actually segues into my next point. You got to be able to transform your speech on the fly and be witty. That's number 2. You got to figure out a way to turn that mistake into something kind of cool, kind of silly, kind of witty. You know what I mean? For me, self-depreciation always tends to work. You know, I was telling my wife earlier today, I said, honey, I got a speech today. She said, okay. Do you have any baby powder? I said, well, baby, what do I need baby powder for? She said, to put it on top of your head because it shines so much. I said, you funny, girl. And I laughed it off and I left. So try to be witty. Try to be funny. Try to transform your mistake into something else during the speech. You know, self-depreciation, like I said, tends to work. You can also kind of laugh it off. I forgot everything I said. Or you can smile and giggle a little bit. Yeah, I don't remember. While I'm laughing and giggling, I'm trying to remember though. And it'll come to you. Alright, so that's one thing to really think about. But sometimes you can't laugh it off. Sometimes the mistake is so big that everybody knows you made a mistake. Now, when the mistake is that big, you have to acknowledge that you made a mistake, and you got to do it in a confident way. You have to be willing to say, you know what, I messed up. I said 1 million, I really meant 1 billion. That's a big difference. So guys, stuff happens. Stuff happens during a speech. If you meant to say billion, but you really said million, you got to point that out, because otherwise, your speech doesn't make sense. You're going to have somebody thinking one thing the whole speech. They're going to get thrown off. So correct yourself. You don't have to apologize to anybody. Just correct yourself, but still agree that, yeah, I made a mistake, and it was a bad one. You know, you have to act like basically the mistake you made was totally expected. You know, that it was the most natural thing in the world for you to make that mistake. Yeah, I did it. That's what I wanted to do. All right, so all in all, guys, people typically don't even notice your mistakes. It's really interesting when you think about it. Nobody cares as much as you think they do. So don't be afraid to go out there and make mistakes. You know, don't be afraid to go out there and put it all on the line. Have courage. Go out there and do it. Because here's the irony of this whole thing. The best public speakers are the ones who made the most mistakes. That's the irony. You know, so it's really going to be the key to your success if that's what you're trying to do. If you want to be a better public speaker, then putting yourself out there and making those mistakes, that's what's going to sharpen your tools, okay? Because we learn from hearing, seeing, and doing. And when you hear yourself make a mistake, when you see yourself make a mistake, or when you can do it and you make a mistake, ooh, that really hurts. But you learn from it. You know, you get to look back and say, well, what did I do wrong? Okay, I see what I need to fix. So, I'm not saying if something bad happens that you should cry like a little baby like I did. But just take those pointers and hopefully you'll be able to get through your speech. All right, guys, I want to thank you for watching. This is Malcolm Talks. I'm about to go to work. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Peace out.